Whether you harvest a spindle off the landscape or you're carving one out of a block of wood, you're going to make sure that it is the same diameter from end to end. It has a round profile. To do that, you attack the corners. Every time you have an angle, you carve it, and you just carve around until you have an almost circular cross section. So there's a flat spot here, and what I'll do is I'll attack either side of that flat spot at the angles until that flat spot just goes away. To finish it off, to get a dowel-like surface, you notice everywhere I carved there's a flat spot, and so there's flat spots throughout here. Just turn your knife sideways and plane it. Make sure you go with the grain of the wood. Sometimes you can get away with rubbing back and forth, but the rougher end is actually going to cause burring. You see little shavings out there that stick, so to get rid of them, go with the grain of the wood. Spindle's minimum thickness is hang loose. Okay, anything shorter isn't going to last you long enough, and it's going to create too much of a demand with your bow control, and you'll often dig into the ground or spit dirt into your notch, or it's just a mess. So minimum length of your bow, of your spindle, minimum length of your spindle is going to be hang loose. I like to have my spindle come up almost to my knee sometimes, because I know it's going to last longer and I'll have better control and stability as long as I have a good piece of wood and that I've carved it straight. The other two essential pieces that are often overlooked: when you carve your points at the end of your spindle, make sure that that line that runs along the edge, and I know this isn't a dowel-like spindle yet, but for instructional purposes, that when you carve, you have a straight horizontal edge going all the way around. If it's uneven, like this section right here, it'll vibrate the dust that you're trying to pile up, and you won't get a coal. You'll hear a rattling sound, and you'll feel it either in your hand or in your foot, and that'll determine, where that uneven contact with the fireboard or the handhold is. So just be meticulous as you start to develop those points into a cone at the top of your spindle, that there's a straight line all the way around. Okay, the top end is going to be more tapered. It's actually going to start back about an inch and go up at a sharper point, whereas the bottom end is going to be a blunter point. It's still going to be pointy because you want to burn into your fireboard. You just want this to disappear quicker so that the friction can occur on the outer edge of your spindle. At the top end, where your handhold is, you want to distribute the friction over a larger surface area. And to do that, we increase the length of the point, or the surface area that point takes up. So we have a longer point that burns into our handhold. In the beginning, they'll both smoke. You want to minimize the smoke at the top here if it's still occurring, or if your handhold gets hot, lubricate it with earwax or the oils from your face. The beeswax or pitch. If you're going to use a resin from a tree, use the red pine species. They have harder, more crumbly pitch, and that pitch is less likely to evaporate before you get your coal. The softer the pine resin, the more liquefied it is, the quicker it evaporates. It'll still make a difference, but you want to go for the best materials you have available.